Okay, hi. Sorry for the delay. I had to do something in the last hour, but I'm here now. And I have the timer up. Now I just need to go live on YouTube. Okay. Hello, YouTube. So we're going to be playing the Ace Attorney Investigations collection again. We are are in case 2. Turnabout Airlines. This is gonna be fun! I'm excited for this. Okay, let's go! The murder that occurred in my office. Hello, Tori Larson. The return of the great thief, Yatakarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. Two days earlier. Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Flight G390, first floor, lounge. Ugh. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Ha! Slight turbulence indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight, though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. What's this? Travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Ugh, from earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your He's dead! Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! What? No! You have it all wrong! It wasn't me! Oh no! He's being accused of murder again! March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make a scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off! Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say, however, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw, and there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I am very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Pinero, is it? Yes? I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance? To do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. He accused a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then, let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What Miss Pinero saw. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator? It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. That's it? That's her evidence? I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Rebuttal. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant.
Hold it!
Tell me, what exactly puts a pro and professional flight attendant for you? Well, it means we are very professional about how we take care of our passengers. Services like fetching papers and responding to calls are done with speed and accuracy. I can assure you that I give testimonies with the same level of professionalism. But I'm sure you have already realized that by now, right? It's a bit hard to appreciate your professionalism when I'm the one under suspicion. And there you have it. My professional testimony is accurate and reliable. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer.
Hold it!
You certainly seem sure of yourself. Of course! A professional flight attendant can't afford to make mistakes after all. Perhaps, you must admit there are few who can look at a murder with a clear mind. The attendants will all go through extensive training and are always calm and collected. We'll even calmly serve you coffee, if you so wish, as the plane makes a splashdown. I fail to see how that would be the calm and rational thing to do in an emergency. Even until the bitter end, we are there to serve the passengers. That is the duty of all professional flight attendants. You certainly are confident. Anyway, shall we return to your testimony? The scene I saw in front of the elevator.
Hold it!
Yes? What did you see in front of the elevator? That's what I was just about to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth. Frames by the elevator doors and bathed in the light coming from within. It was you, standing there, with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon.
Hold it!
The murder weapon dripping with blood? Really now? I swear that was the grisly scene I saw before me. Thank goodness it wasn't a passenger who saw, or there'd be widespread panic by now. As I recall, you were quite panicked yourself at the time. Me? You were scared enough to misread the situation and accuse me of murder. Nonsense! Professional flight attendants cannot afford to be that flustered. I witnessed the murder scene and am now listening to your defense, all with a smile. Apparently, you also lie with a smile on your face. So, if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
Hold it!
I am not the culprit. And yet, you would keep these restraints on me? Mr. Edgeworth, please try to understand what kind of situation you're in right now. And what exactly is my situation? I have the backing of the caption to keep you bound in this way. We are within our legal right to restrain anyone who might threaten our captain mid-flight. In essence, you're in the same situation as someone who has been arrested by the police. So I am to stay restrained until I can clear up all of her doubts? At least I'm close. A mistake shines like the silver lining on a dark rain cloud. And I'm going to capture some of that light with evidence. Let's see. The travel wallet?
Objection!
Miss Canero. What is with the yelling all of a sudden? Force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Canero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct? Yes. All that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sent a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Canero. What? Impossible! Now then, do you still think I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? I saw blood dripping from the wallet! I know I did! As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice. Then... That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist. No! There, that should clear up that pesky accusation. Well, wait, just a sec. Even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please. She's trembling, and the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from his appearance that it's light. No! I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself. She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Canero, if you'd be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. Alright. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. Grape juice stains the outer cover. True. It was I who dropped it in the juice. However, I didn't do it out of ill intentions. It seems that this passport is all that's in here. As you saw, there is nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet with the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Please, hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, what passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. Republic of Virginia, passport. Type BP. Surname Hicks. Given names Ackby. Nationality Republic of Virginia. Sex male. Wallet data updated in my organizer. You stole the victim's wallet. Didn't you? How dare you? You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Miss Canero's logic. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Rebuttal. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet.
Hold it!
Shouldn't that be proof enough for you that I did not murder the victim? Not at all! Oh, and why not? Because that wallet may not have been what I thought it was. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed.
Hold it!
You think I stole it? Yes, I'm very sorry to say it, and I wouldn't usually be so rude, but it must be said. I never thought I'd see the day, but here I am calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put on a serious face and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage. It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I'd like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks' wallet. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple.
Hold it!
I don't think I have any sort of motive to speak of. I've never met Mr. Hicks before, and our only connection is this one flight. But that is more than enough of a reason. How do you figure? He was sitting in first class, and I think the implication is quite clear. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you?
Hold it!
You think I was after his money? Where did that cockamamie idea come from? True, you are also a passenger in first class, but I thought something was off about you and those deeply etched lines on your face, on your forehead. They're not lines, they're perfectly normal and a part of my natural face. I don't think I've ever met someone with such a terrible countenance on a flight before. And that's when it hit me. You have the face of someone with money trouble. She really is making a fool of herself, pursuing this line of logic. I should spare her and present a piece of evidence that contradicts her testimony. Oh, whoops, I didn't do that.
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero. What is it now? Miss Tenero? I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive for the murder was not the money?
Take that!
If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor... Ah! That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after. Ah! I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money. But... the wallet!
Objection!
Ah yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks' passport. Ah! If you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet. Forgive me! Please! Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? Miss Tenero. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought that I was the killer. But Edgeworth... Thank you for releasing me. What is it now? Miss Tenero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged. It sounds like Gorgidian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who... I said that he's giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir. I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport. I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. You! How dare you try to waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. Yes, I am pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Well, I should hope I'm not voluntarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Sinclair Blanc II. I'm a very wealthy man in the Burgundia, but I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. Milbank, what did you mean just now? Pardon? I mean, when you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving you the runabout, I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I didn't have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blabber on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. And what's the significance of the time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? Ah! What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Ah! Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was its prosecutor, yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. I was still eating. Still haven't finished, see? The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaints, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say, but do you have, what you say, the evidence? Edgeworth, is he really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony? Of course! I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click. From the description, it sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone. A laptop or organizer I can see, but kind of low budget. I gave that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Miss Tenero? Yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that is how you say it in English. It's Fox guarding the hen house. And I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenero, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. Huh, this shall not be approved. Please, Mr. LeBlanc. In an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. You're not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. Ha! We will see. Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene. What? Unbelievable! I am in your debt, Miss Tenero. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that? Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural as I am still a suspect in this case. Grr. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to use Y to talk. It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. This was Mr. Higgs' seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about. Perhaps it's in the elevator? Maybe. We should probably head down to the crime scene now. Don't get near me, you criminal! He said don't get near me, you criminal. I am not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now. But that's contrary to the facts! He says, but that's contrary to the facts. I can understand his English just fine, thank you very much. What's a lifesaver doing here? I bought it at an in-flight shop just beyond the lounge. If something should happen, having one will save your life. I think this guy would have been better off not taking a plane to begin with. Look at all these bottles lined up in a row. It's a miracle they made it through the turbulence without a scratch. Actually, we asked the drink vendor to clean up all the ones that did break earlier. And you need to tell me he put all these up here after the turbulence? We are simply thrilled to have someone so interested in the variety of drinks available. I don't think anyone should drink this much. There's such a thing as overhydration. March 12th, 7:26 a.m. I didn't mean to go here. Fuck. I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Tenero. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. I see. I will bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. But my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes in first class without a staff key card. And we found no record of a key card being used at all. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Begin investigation. First floor lounge. Now then, let's get started. But where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere. If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes. The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. This door leads to the flight attendant's room, but please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel. The room is giving off the scent of woman's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great, however to me it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door. Perhaps we should return to the investigation, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry, I spaced out for a second there. These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area. Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, note that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you. I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name. These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky. These clouds, they tell me nothing. Mr. Edgeworth? It looks like you're talking to the clouds. That's so. Then tell me, what do you suppose I said to them? I don't know, but it looks like a rather one-sided conversation. Clouds, they tell me nothing. This grand piano is the pride of this plane. It can play the music of whatever CD we insert into its CD drive. It's not a piano, it's more like an overgrown music box. Ah, but it's keys to press along with the music, as though there really is someone playing it. Some people have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys. What? Who is this? This is a bronze statue of the founder of Airlines, Mr. Ugo Hughes. The one on the left is of when he was in his 40s, and the other is him in his 80s. Did the man age at all over those 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more. This toppled-over chair, yet another victim of the turbulence. Ah! No! Look at all that grape juice staining the back! You may not look it, but the chair was extremely valuable. Was? Yes! It was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour this plane. The Rocker Pals' leader sat in this very chair. I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals? I can't believe you never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the Pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens. Ah, that explains it. I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. Second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get. Oh, because of Pal. Glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence. It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to turn off. I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it. A pity that a bronze statue knows not when good drink has been spilt at its feet. This is a statue of our founder, Mr. Ugo Hughes, who was a big fan of grape juice. I'm sure he would be thrilled if he knew so much grape juice was here at his feet. Is that a hint of hero worshipping I detect? There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence. Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I found some very important evidence. What is the important evidence in this scene?
Take that!
I'm not sure what's so important about that, Mr. Edgeworth. No, wait! This is no time to get careless. Okay, maybe it's the footprints?
Take that!
What is it? They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree they were a set of footprints. You think... Yes, these belong to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class. I don't think that will be any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match. Oh, I see. What floors does this elevator service? Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew key card. So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I wonder what was hanging off of this lanyard. It's missing from this picture. Now if I could just put my finger on it. I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight. Mr. Hicks! Really dead? Yes. He's trembling, although I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. See, there's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks's head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Even his glasses are broken. There's something sticking out of his pocket. Hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. What is this sinister-looking figure on the floor here? Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Ugo. He's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition, and it's so popular that we're down to our last one. You have an in-flight shop? Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks's wallet at some point. Flight itinerary. I've already read this, so... Oh, okay. There's a thing on the lanyard.
Eureka!
Mr. Hicks's machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Miss Tenero. Oh, so I guess because it's not here... Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. they don't go together? A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out. Yes? What is it? The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. Well, aren't we deserving the master of the obvious title? Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon. Oh, I just knew it! I mean, I can't think of any other connection. Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting. Captain Ugo Piggybank data jotted down in my organizer. Looks like I've looked everywhere else. Are you in need of assistance? Miss Nero, I'd like to ask you about investigating the lounge. As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around. If you could pass a message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation. I will. However, please realize that you are still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you. Of course, and I take no offense. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Yes, barely. Do you pinky swear you do on your honor as a professional prosecutor? I pinky swear I do on my honor as a professional prosecutor. Well, I guess that settles that. I feel my honor as a man slowly diminishing. Did you notice anything? I was wondering whose footprints those are next to the elevator. I'd say the killers, wouldn't you say? Even if they aren't, I'm sure they are a valuable clue to solving this case. Ooh, maybe there are other clues waiting to be found in other places. Come on now, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's go find them together. Word of advice? Nobody likes a credit thief, so stop stealing my lines. I was wondering if you noticed anything, Miss Nero. Yes, I can't help but notice the sad atmosphere in here. Yes, it is a rather tragic crime. I'll say, robbing the poor man after bludgeoning him to death. Talk about rubbing in the salt. I can't forgive someone who would do this to a passenger of mine. I swear as a professional flight attendant that I will capture the culprit with my own hands. And I promise as a prosecutor to solve this case with logic and deduction. I should go over all the leads I've collected so far one more time. The key to solving this lies at the intersection of my logic and the evidence. Even if you show that to me, I still cannot allow you free reign. Sorry, but I must admit that I still have my doubts about you. Guilty until proven innocent, I see. There wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. There's no breakthrough residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence. Checking every nook and cranny. sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder. What? Really? Yes, it's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding, or rather, the grape juice in this case. These footsteps here confess to me this very fact. That someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person. But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself? Ah, but if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless. Means Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. Investigation complete. What's going on over there? Unforgivable! This is unforgivable! Do you understand what I am saying? The movie is late! It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrives late. But the movie... What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time. What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir. Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet? If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now. What nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken? Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more. Fine, suit yourself. I'm certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. He was on the needle on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal. Mr. LeBlanc's conclusion seems to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me. No, my eyewitness testimony. If you think it can destroy it, then come, let me see. Hurry! Do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you? Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast. Rebuttal. I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator.
Hold it!
Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time? Of course, I saw what was inside. And you are sure that the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
Lumkitty just traded with 6 viewers.
Ooh, hi! Thank you for the raid, Lumkitty. Hello, raiders. I'm currently playing the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. I'm currently on case 2, which is called Turnabout Airlines. Edgeworth has been accused of murder and we're trying to prove his innocence. We're currently talking to a man named Mr. LeBlanc, who is very certain that Edgeworth is the only person who could have committed the murder. And hello, raiders. I'm Melody Wisp. I'm an accessibility provider and, of course, a VTuber. I usually stream visual novels and RPGs and horror games and stuff. And today is a visual novel. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm currently giving this man a very strange accent. A little bit of a raid and run as it's nearly 2 a.m. on a work night. We're doing Final Fantasy 14 Savage raiding. Cool! Thank you for the raid, and it's okay that you have to run. Have a good night and a good day at work. Okay, let's continue the game. This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. The only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. We progressed M6S down to about 10% health, so pretty happy. I'm not sure what that means, but as long as you had fun and you made good progress, that's great. I've never played Final Fantasy, any Final Fantasy game before, so.
Hold it!
Was he really alone? Of course, I will bet even 1 cent. A cheap ante for cheap testimony. But if that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take your 1 cent. I see on Blue Sky loads and finally get to raid you? Yeah! I also see you on Blue Sky. It's always nice when people from Blue Sky come and raid me. It's very encouraging, and it's just sweet.
Hold it!
I assume the pocket watch in this case is the one you keep checking, is that correct?
Oh, you noticed? It is a very expensive antique, I will have you know. The feeling is wonderful when I finally wind it up by hand.
It does look very well designed, and quite classy. Sorry, M equals the abbreviation for the current expansion's rates here. 6 equals 6 fights. S equals savage difficulty version of the fight. Oh, that sounds difficult. Sounds very satisfying, too.
I will have to charge you if you want to touch it.
That's quite alright. Let's continue with your testimony.
What a cheap man you are. Now return the time you wasted back to me. If we must, I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator at 6 o'clock. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in a lounge, yes?
Hold it!
It's true that I found the victim's body at 6:15. And that's when I found the two of them as well. Yeah, we've been at it for quite a few months, but our group only gets to meet up for 2 hours a week. Aww. That's unfortunate, but at least you get to meet up. That's fun. I wish I could do collabs, but with my setup, it's impossible because I have the 2 PC setup. I did see someone online had posted like a little tutorial on how to send your audio using an audio splitter program, I think, to a different computer, but that seems like a lot of work, a lot of setup. So I have to play games alone.
You see, it all matches my testimony. And you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal.
Hold it!
That is the most mistaken way of thinking I've ever heard of.
No. Your silly opinion is what is mistaken.
Please calm down, the both of you. In a sense, you are both mistaken. The cheese way to do it would be to make a second Discord account and join the voice chat on both PCs. Oh, yeah, I could do that! That makes a lot of sense! Oh, thank you. I might do that one day, actually. I actually once just joined like a voice chat and a video chat using the same account. But, I mean, the same voice chat and video chat with the same account. I don't know why I was able to do that on 2 separate computers. But it's like not an option anymore. Which sucks. Because it really worked well when I did that the first few times. And then suddenly the option just was not available anymore. Please calm down, the both of you. In a sense, you are both mistaken. Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, then I don't know what is. That's by a little hole in his words. As you wish, Mr. LeBlanc, I will now show you proof of my innocence. Okay, which statement is it? Because we have proof that there was another person in there. Is it this one?
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc, your testimony just now contradicts this piece of evidence.
Oh yes, from the word contradictus.
Oh, you are correct. But what does that have to do with our present situation?
The word comprises the parts against and speak. I dare say I don't deal in such double talk. My art dealings are clean.
That's all well and good. However, about this piece of evidence...
There is no value in that. I am not interested in buying that from you.
Oh! There's plenty of value in it, even just superficially.
Objection!
Okay, it was this statement. Mr. LeBlanc.
What is it?
There was a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and? Would you admit you also spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints. Footprints?
Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive.
Ooh!
There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Can you please translate for us? No way! That's totally impossible! I guess is what he said.
Wow, her titties are out! Why is she dressed like that? No way, that isn't totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes.
Do you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then, what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? What I saw, part 2.
I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time over and over again. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me, and I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside, no one.
Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down.
What? Dares you to have an issue with my eyewitness testimony?
No, not at all. Please forget what I said anything. Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. Rebuttal!
I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat.
Hold it!
So, are you still upset now?
I am always upset. The only time I am not is when I have a piece of art in my hands.
It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him.
But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me. I was always checking the time over and over again.
Hold it!
Why were you so attentive to the time?
Because something unforgivable was happening.
Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time. In money! You understand my point?
Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? A summary of the plot and its start time. Interesting.
They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I look forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. The movie was still late. Very, very late.
Hold it!
Your pocket watch? I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's alright.
The movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket watch many times.
Hold it!
So this movie you mentioned, is it the one listed in the Sky magazine?
Yes! I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
Miss Tenera, was this movie shown on this flight? Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time. Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident?
Nonsense! You doubt me?
No! Now stop pointing at me like that. Odd. How did you miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see?
I checked my pocket watch a great number of times. That much I know for sure. My watch is set to my destination's time. I always set it when I board the plane.
Hold it!
You're sure about what you just testified, Miss LeBlanc?
Yes, of course. I'm a very busy man. I am immediately busy when I land. I have many places to go, and no time to waste adjusting my pocket watch.
I see. It's a very valuable statement you just made.
Flatter me all you want, but you will not get 1 cent out of me.
That's alright. All I require is this piece of testimony.
I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me.
Hold it!
Since you only happened to see him, it's possible that you missed something in that glance.
Even if I only happened, I did not miss a thing.
And how can you be so sure?
Just because.
I would appreciate if you didn't take my life so lightly with a simple just because.
Well then, I was only making a joke. I saw Mr. Hicks, alright? And I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering.
Hold it!
Is it possible that someone was hiding inside?
What? You dare insult me? I have belief in my eyesight. When I look for art to sale, I am told often I have great sight for the arts.
I think the phrase you were looking for was great sense, although that's debatable. But isn't it possible someone was just outside of your line of sight? Oh, Siri didn't ban this bot. Let me do it. Wait. But isn't it possible someone was just outside of your line of sight?
You're persistent! I tell you I looked clearly! But I swear there was no one else inside. No one!
Hold it!
Why do you insist that you're absolutely not mistaken?
Because when I am not wrong, I am not wrong!
Mr. LeBlanc, if I may, I think beyond misconceptions and mistakes lies the truth.
Funny, that suspiciously mirrors something I told her only a little while ago.
I honestly don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying. I don't think he's lying either. But I think he might be mistaken about something. Mistaken?
Yes, and I'm going to correct his mistaken recollection with evidence.
And this professional attendant shall witness the prowess of a professional prosecutor.
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony.
I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe this Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Miss Canero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now? Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point. That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Jiangfang. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we are still running on Borginian time.
What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule.
What?
Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1 million cents on that. In light of this information, it appears you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
My 1 million cents!
This should clear up all of the remaining accusations. So this basically went as the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m., it means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6 to 15 a.m. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing? I've got something to say. And you are? Yeah. Oh, I'm Cammy Neal. I'm a flight attendant.
And what is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know?
What? How can you be so sure of the time?
Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. A message from Captain Ugo. This flight will be making a brief stop to refuel and transfer cargo in the Republic of Jiangfang between 4 and 5 a.m. We ask that all passengers remain on board at that time. Thank you for your cooperation.
Ah, the stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer in Jiangfang, correct?
Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks.
And during that time, did any of the passengers leave, or did any new ones board this flight?
No, not a single person got off or on in Jiangfang.
What about the flight crew?
The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Kemi and myself, came back on the plane.
So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff.
Interesting. I should keep that in mind. Refueling in Jiangfang, Zeta jotted down to my organizer. Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you Mr. Acme Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m. Miss Niels' testimony jotted down in my organizer. Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m. Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth? remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhangfa.
Ah! You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you're the only one who could be the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards?
Unfortunately, yes.
But then, how do we explain the footprints?
Is that not obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks in his lounge, waited to kill him, and then he put the corpse into the elevator.
Ad starts in 1 minute.
This is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken, but time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the 2nd floor does not matter, because the entire incident is concluded here in this lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge. Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
What? Do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to a location other than this lounge?
Take that!
The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in this lounge. Okay, be right back. Gonna save. when did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
That's a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this man? If I may?
What is it?
You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says.
Oh, and why do you know this so well?
Well, it's just that a piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence?
Yes, I was.
To think of it.
Miss Tenero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door. Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
That's the flight attendant's room.
Then you were on the first floor?
Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room.
Are you saying you passed by me at some point?
Yes. You see, it's really into the issue of Guy magazine we were reading at that time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by.
I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was.
Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities.
Why did you not say anything about that until now is what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then?
What is it now?
Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're all right. Huh? That's weird.
What is it?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero?
It means that she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet here you are.
You, flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Miss Tenero, why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me. Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Miss Blanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would follow me, I will be your guide from now on.
There's something about Miss Tenero that has piqued my curiosity.
But right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority.
Oh, I am really mad. You had better hurry and bring to me some evidence.
If you could wait just a little longer while we look into the shop.
Don't number the birds before you're born.
Don't number the... what?
I have no idea what he's trying to say. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, perhaps?
All I ask of you is your patience and cooperation. Miss Meal, about investigating the in-flight shop.
You're of no use to me asleep. Wake up!
Yeah? What's up? I need you to come with me so I can search the shop. Go on ahead without me. I'll catch up with you later. How has this woman not been fired yet?
Those bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence.
There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area. Huh? Did you say something? I said that there is glass here and to be careful. Oh, hi.
Obviously, common sense does not register, even as a blip on this girl's radar.
Mr. Edgeworth, that's the attendance room.
Please excuse me. It was a simple mistake.
You made a mistake, didn't you? Why don't you just come out and say it?
That's exactly what I just said. I made a small mistake. Don't nod off while I'm talking.
There's something written on the pedestal. Here lies Ugo Hughes. I don't think that's what they meant to write. March 12th, 8:32 a.m. Flight G390, first floor, in-flight shop. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then, teehee.
Hold on! You can't clean up a potential crime scene!
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected, because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There was a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit.
Begin investigation. In-flight shop.
Beautiful flowers and a beautiful arrangement. I feel clenched just by looking at them.
Well, you're kind of stepping on a few of them, you know, Mr. Edgeworth?
Oh, excuse me.
I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever.
So what do you think about what has happened regarding this case?
Oh no, I guess I think you're the killer though, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can assure you that I'm here in this shop to prove just the opposite.
Yeah, but it was me that got you the permission to look around. You know? Don't forget that, okay?
How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep?
Well, you know what's really sure your thanks? You see that item for sale over there?
Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. What are these?
Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it.
Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world, you try then buy.
No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter.
True, either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Captain Ugo heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you?
It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach.
Huh? I guess there's no fooling your refined taste. It looks like you really wanted to get one. I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in it to begin with.
It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda.
Miss Nero designed this?
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp? Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea where the big whiz decided to go with it. It's so bleh.
Miss Nero designed this, did she? Definitely not what I would have expected.
Ah! You okay?
I'm fine. Watch yourself, Miss Wheel. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation.
Here, I'll put it back.
Inside the display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale.
You saw a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. The glass from the display case's door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? Just toys, just like the one Miss Neal is holding, aren't on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed.
How do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? There are all kinds of luxury name brand merchandise for sale in this display case. And they're lined up in just such a manner as to scream buy me to any passersby. There is a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases.
You know what I suggest?
Sorry, I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip.
Okay, then how about you buy something from me then, as a present?
I can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything.
I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time.
I think pay attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk.
Is there nothing else to investigate? Let's have this piece of jewelry. Can I have it?
No, you may not. This is a prosecutor's badge.
Hooey. Then why did you show it to me?
I wanted to prove to you that I really am a prosecutor. And that it's not possible for a prosecutor like me to commit such a crime as... I see that I'm just wasting my time with Cousin Hair here.
What is that? Are you gonna give it to me? Oh, but I'm not supposed to accept any presents. Unless they're really worth something. Miss Rhoda said this piggy bank was in the shop, right? Did you find her a tiny bit suspicious?
I don't think I can say either way yet. There's not enough evidence to convince me that she was lying about anything back there.
Are you sure about that? Like I said earlier, I was the one answering people's calls while we were refueling in Zhengfa. And Mr. Hicks was in his seat at that time.
What time was that again?
He called at around 5 a.m. You were at your seat around then, too, you know.
I do recall people calling for service at around that time. Even if this turns out to be a waste of time, I must stand firm. I just know that there is a vital clue or two awaiting me here in the shop.
These don't go together, right?
Oh, they do! The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it?
Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in the shop.
Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. Come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of the display case is needed. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this the same man as the one portrayed with the statues around the elevator?
Yeah, that's a paper winner, the founder of Go You Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes.
On the bottom shelf, we have the cute one. The middle shelf is a realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's a floral version. Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess. You just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like hit the bullseye. Go You Airlines related books line the shelf. The history of Go You Airlines. The future of Go You Airlines. The 7 wonders of Go You. Right on, Go You Airlines. Working name, You Go Airlines. You go, you! The titles make it very clear that they won't be making the top sellers list anytime soon. For security, there's a lock on this display case. Miss Meal, if I may ask you about this lock.
The one who's in charge of the shop is Miss Rhoda, so... She's got the keys to all of the display cases.
I see.
Oh, I bet you want to buy something. Do you want me to go get the key from her?
No, that's alright.
The glass in this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly.
Ah! What is it?
I touched the glass and I cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edward, it hurts.
Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. No, she's completely helpless. There is definitely something very unusual about this.
About what?
If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Captain Ugo Bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself.
Oh, I see. Yes, I guess it'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope. No, there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. That's nice. Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Ugo bank from here after the turbulence. Captain Ugo piggy bank data updated in my organizer. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Neal, and listen when I'm talking. But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon. So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? Yes, at this point, this is a very real possibility. But then what if when the killer went to take Captain Ugo, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person who could have. Oh? And who would that be? Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh? Oh, they go together. Yes, there's definitely something wrong here. What's with this sudden yelling? Tell me, Miss Neal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases? Oh, well, sure. They totally ooze strange, like the color and the such. That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention. You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper. Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? But I guess they take after their creator. Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Neal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind. I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous. I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. What's wrong? You raise a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. What is so unusual about this case? This. Spot the difference.
Take that!
There's something very peculiar about these wheels. Huh? As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying. And so it is very likely that the suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? This was apparently designed by Miss Tenero herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it. What's this? The wheel is completely covered in something. This color and this scent, it appears the substance in question is grape juice. But why would there be juice on the wheel of a suitcase? Juicy wheels! It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. A piece of cloth, and it's soaked with blood. It's blood! It appears that the suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all. Investigation complete. So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder? I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps. But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then? That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is...
Take that!
something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? But... in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location. So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments, but, however, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Neal reminded me about Miss Pinero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. To be continued. Now! Save your progress? Of course! March 12th, 1 p.m. local time. Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Pinero and Miss Neal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Pinero in private. So I'm left wondering, just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation.
I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth.
Oh! It's her! Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany.
I'd go where I am needed.
And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. He, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are.
Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest.
But what? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue, but I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? Suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you, of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe!
Yes, sir!
Too slow. Oh! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
But Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him?
A simple yes or no, detective.
Ah! Yes, sir! Understood, sir! You just leave it to me.
Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay.
Thank you, detective.
I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this.
I have to admit I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. I can't believe there's no one manning the counter when a murder had just occurred. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shop. Which should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before.
Nom 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 nom. In Soviet Russia, word flags lunchboxes eat you. Not it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000 lols. For my next leaked movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai Warrior of Near Old Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion of Earth. It's gonna rock so many boxers. The Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. What a view of the plane is preparing for takeoff. Besides the turbulence, they're really not all that bad as a mode of transportation. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes. Wow! I'd love to take a run down that runway! Oh, the youth today. So much potential, yet so misguided. So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something. And I'd come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. I wish I could do accents, cause I would give her a German accent, but I can't do it. I'm terrible at them. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details. It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. What if we're talking to the people involved in this case afresh? This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes. I'm all excited to see this many planes too. Just look at the size of these things.
You like planes too, mister? The balance between the main wings and the tail rings is really something, huh?
It seems that this child derives his pleasure from a different aspect. Oh, but I also got a thing for the shape of the wings too.
Here, mister, you can stand next to me. So how about the plane's wings?
Thank you, detective, for leaving me out of this conversation. Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Mr. Edgeworth, we've got to get him some water. Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000, lols. Good thing it was just a false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth? The Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Completely ignoring me, as usual. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I'd be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. This life vest is proof I made it alive. It's now my prized possession. How could you just take that from the plane? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least. Lunchland. Not bad. Ooh, I've always wanted to give their steak lunch a try. What should I go with?
I recommend our airport special World Flag lunchboxes. Only available for a limited time.
If you really want one that badly, detective, why don't you go ahead and buy one? Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright, then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take a Star-Spangled Banner lunchbox, please. I hope he's aware that that's the most expensive one on the menu. I can't believe there's no one manning the counter when a murder has just occurred. Relax, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm here. I'll make sure nothing else happens. That's precisely why I can't relax. What a view of the planes preparing for takeoff. I want to ride a plane someday and go overseas.
Have you never been to another country before, Detective?
Nope, not yet, sir. I don't even have a passport. But I've been saving up for that eventual someday. A penny a day, to be precise.
At that rate, he won't be making any trips until well after retirement. March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. So you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain being much of a reputable person. So you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir?
He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that title witness to Franziska in her whip. Ah!
You certainly got him with her whip.
March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, lounge.
No, see here! Ah! Sorry. I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be criminal. I told you.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even want 1 second wasteful time to spend. Sir, you can't go in there.
I'm Miles Edgeworth. I am one of the prosecutors on this case, so please let me through.
I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission.
But I'm on the case.
Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through from Miss Von Karma.
Why would you do this to me, Franziska? Did you finish taking his statement yet?
Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From full costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art.
Full costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me?
Oh, it's a Virginian cloth.
As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose.
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from all over the seas for more.
Bloody cloth data updated my organizer. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo this time is many gigantic. You detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. It is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room, too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendance room for an interview, and then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free reign to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room? Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska's logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break your line of logic fast. Rebuttal. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion.
Hold it!
Don't you think you're being a bit rash by simply declaring me the culprit? I like my affairs to be simple and perfect. I'll show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing within 3 minutes.
Hey, you say that like you're cooking a pack of instant noodles. No!
I won't allow even 3 seconds of useful testimony to be uttered in my presence. I see she hasn't changed a bit, but I won't allow her to send me to prison so easily. The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered.
Hold it!
So tell me, Francisca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that I need to know in order to arrest you. And nothing more? Are you saying there is more I need to know?
Ah! Why did you whip me, sir?
Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped. It would appear that Francisca doesn't have all the facts of this case yet. For the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found.
Hold it!
What do you mean by seen? Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. And then, from the time after that call until the body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth.
Hold it!
Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. That fact alone does not make me the criminal.
Objection!
We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. However, there is one thing that even you must admit at this time. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect.
Hold it!
Under the circumstances, I suppose I can agree that I am the most likely suspect.
But I believe in you, sir. I don't think you did it. Miss Von Karma's gotta believe that too, right? I mean, you two are like simply— Ow!
Quiet, Scruffy. Even if he were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal. Francisca, I demand to see some proof that you're not the guilty party. The likeliest suspect, huh? What a roundabout euphemism. But it would appear that she doesn't yet know about the new evidence that we acquired and where we acquired it. I'll take care of the gaps in her logic one hole at a time.
Objection!
This piece of evidence perfectly exposes the flaw in your logic. Oh, well then why don't you show me how it does just that? Go on!
Ooh, I bet it's this part, right? This conflicts with something, right, sir?
You have no idea what you're talking about, do you? Detective Gumshoe, don't speak up when you don't know what you're talking about.
Ouch, I was just trying to follow your lead, sir.
That you would allow a subordinate to take over? You're a disgrace. I guess that wasn't it.
Objection!
It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used a suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection!
Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way. But did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
Objection!
As if there is proof of that. Where is the proof that the suitcase was moved around?
Take that!
All it takes is one look at this and you'll have your answer. Indeed, I have my answer now. That you are an ignorant whippersnapper. Ah! And you're just an unforgiving whipsnapper. The suitcase ended up in an in-flight shop. Where did it come from? The answer should become clear if I just think about the path the killer took. Where's the proof that this suitcase was moved around?
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator? Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here?
Take that!
This mark here, wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from 2 wheels? What's the
suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear! Not by a long shot! Francisco's Logic, Part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator where the victim's body stepped into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in your logic in one fell swoop. Rebuttal! You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence.
Hold it!
And how do you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked. That's easy. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass like this! You! You shattered my heart of glass! So she wants to talk about the in-flight shop in the Captain Ugo Bank, does she? That takes care of how you obtained the murder weapon. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death.
Hold it!
I thought there wasn't any of the victim's blood found in the lounge. I thought you'd say that. What, did you think I wouldn't have noticed? I think you just found a way to cleverly hide the blood splatter in the lounge by accidentally spilling grape juice on top of it. Are you accusing me of tampering with a crime scene now? We'll see, won't we? The forensic scientists are hard at work on that as we speak. And? What do you propose I did after that? Then, while you were in the elevator where the victim's body stepped into the suitcase...
Hold it!
So I put the victim's body into the suitcase, and then? Where was I headed, Franziska? That's pretty obvious. You were bringing it to first class where you could safely keep an eye on it. We're talking about this thing, you know. I'd hardly call it discreet or ordinary. Annoying brat. Well then, you were intending to leave it inside the elevator. But unfortunately for you, a wrench was thrown into your plans because... the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase.
Hold it!
You've experienced turbulence on a flight before. Of course! Many times. You get used to it after a while. The patch we hit was especially rough, and I passed out briefly, but only for a second. Good thing it was only for a sec, sir. It'd have been bad if you had really blanked out. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, blinking out is exactly what got me into this mess in the first place. That's enough of your idle chatter. I'm not through with you yet, Miles Edgeworth. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from.
Hold it!
If I really were a criminal, do you really think I would be so easily caught?
Objection!
You are certainly in the middle of being caught right now. Ah! I have to find a contradiction fast or I won't have much of my own hide left to save. I have to say, you are looking rather caught right now. And I'll tell you exactly what you did after that. You loitered around in the lounge and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Hold it!
I didn't pretend to be anything. I really was the first to discover the victim's body. I suppose that's true. So then you are yielding to my statements? Don't be foolish. I still insist that you are the killer, but in that sense, you really were the first to discover the body to be dead. No matter what I say, she seems dead set on making me out to be the killer. Her logic is reasonably sound, and the large majority of it reflects the truth. But there is one point about it that is not quite right.
Objection!
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? Fake? This Captain Ugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. And it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood in the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated its weapon.
Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things of the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then, the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ashley Hicks. You there!
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir.
If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or still at the real crime scene.
Objection!
There was one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She took the caption and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted. But only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. But you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. This scenario is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
I've been told by Miss Von Karma that you can now enter the flight attendant's room. Please feel free to look around.
Thank you. Not to unravel Miss Tenero's true intention.
You, hurry and solve your murder! If you do not, how am I supposed to have my cargo returned to me?
If you could please be patient just a little longer, Mr. LeBlanc.
Hurry and solve it, like a stroke of thunder!
It's as fast as lightning, and believe me, if I could, I would. March 12th, 2:23 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Nero. Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I am almost certain that the well-kept one up top belongs to Miss Nero.
Ew, this bottom one is a giant mess.
You slob and squalid scoundrel of a man. You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy?
Yo! There are some things in life best kept to yourself, detective.
There is sure to be a clue of some sort in this trash can. Take the gumshoe, if you please.
Yes, sir. You just leave the rum machine to me.
Guppy, how dare you go through a woman's trash without a permission? Have you no sense of honor?
Eek! I'm sorry. I'm just doing Mr. Edgeworth told me to do.
Forgive me, detective.
What is all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
That's our lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth. Gold crowns.
Oh, gold crowns and swords and necklaces. It's like a treasure trove in here, sir.
The fact that these were left on the plane implies they were carried onto it to begin with. Something tells me it's time for Go You to send its metal detectors out for repairs. And what are inside these boxes? Oh, those are some souvenirs I bought in Bohemia.
There's so many. There's even a second box.
Well, yes, I found that folk art from around the world does great things for my creativity. The suitcases certainly could have done with a whole lot less of your creativity.
So these are the attendant's lockers, huh? Let's hurry up and examine them, sir.
How must men always be so rude? Besides, who exactly gave you permission to search for the attendant's lockers?
Wait, detective. It would be uncouth of us to look in a woman's locker without permission. Yeah, I guess so. Plus, I feel this murderous draft, and I can sense a whip not far behind.
It's one of those suitcases designed by Miss Tenero. You can tell it's hardly ever been used by the lack of even a single scratch on it. What exactly is this panel for? That's the emergency control panel for the elevator. We use it to stop the elevator on the first floor and to keep its doors open. Well, go on. Let's hear our troublesome attendant out. In due time. I do have one thing I'd like to ask you. Yes? Do you plan to continue using that whip for the foreseeable future? Of course! I've wrangled many a testimony out of people thanks to it.
Yeah, and probably a whole ton of yelps. No!
And I'm willing to bet that the majority of them came from you, Detective.
This door leads to the cargo hold, but I can't let you through without Miss Von Karma's express permission.
That's not a bad way to handle the situation if it was any old case, but this isn't.
But between you and Miss Von Karma, who's better at their job?
Oh, there is no comparison to be made, Detective. None. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke to the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with this meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness! Miss Tenero, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, I had a sudden hesitation. Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tenero complains to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. What thing? This? Then is it this? If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tenero. Oh, that suitcase! Yes, about the suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about the suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. What? The last one there? So you're saying, Miss Tenero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? And I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think a good range of your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee you personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on. My issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? That's impossible. I'm sure there was only one. Ad starts in 1 minute. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenero, what is one are those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only one left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time? I think not. Miss Tenero, I'd appreciate if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Miss Tenero says?
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tenero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? Ah! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Stenaro, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in... Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was...
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Stenaro? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. And that's why you wanted to make it look like you were selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? And the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry! All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? But because it's as you put it, hideous.
I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either.
We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust.
I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one every single time you work a flight?
You see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m.
The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold.
They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Stenaro, where are these other suitcases?
They should all be down in the cargo hold.
Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
Ah! How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Miss Stenaro, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only other way is just through that door there.
And what about security?
That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects.
I can't believe it!
Yes, Franziska? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card.
Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That other attendant, Miss Neal, I asked her earlier if she had this to say.
Franziska got information out of Miss Neal?
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Stenaro, and only you.
Ah! What? Is this true, Miss Stenaro?
Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us that card right now?
Yes, hold on. I don't believe it!
What's wrong?
The key card, it's gone!
Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through.
Wait! It's not like that!
You can tell us all about it, what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman!
Yes, ma'am!
Mr. Edgeworth!
What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Franziska, I know that you're the lead investigator on this case. However... Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time! You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. To be continued. Yeah, let's save. It's definitely not Miss Stenaro. Maybe it's, Cammy. March 12th, 2:52 p.m. Flight G390 lower deck, cargo hold.
Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh?
He went so fast.
It's so big!
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first-class seating. So this is the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct?
Okay, let's get investigating, sir.
Begin investigation. Lower deck cargo hold.
Ooh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it.
The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move.
Oh yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now.
Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without a special key card. Both the doors to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for passengers to come down here. All sorts of boxes are piled up here.
This one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals.
This one says for exorcism use only. What kind of operation is this airline running? Have you noticed anything strange happening around here?
No, sir, I haven't noticed a thing.
I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious.
Hey, what's the suitcase? What's with the suitcase, pal?
It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belongs to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if you took a closer look.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir.
Wait, a file?
And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir.
It looks like a profile of Franziska. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her?
Holy suitcase, Miss Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair!
These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over.
This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy.
Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Here. $1,200! I think I'll pass.
And Miss Nero wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? A bunch of glass fragments? Keeping track of as many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. No matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. So mean. I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo.
This thing's as tall as 2 of you on top of each other, sir.
It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity.
What, really? Yeah, I guess that sounds about right.
There's really no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, Detective. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental level international crime, but it's much too large for one person to take on alone, so it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. Just as Miss Nero said, the timestamp says she bought the suitcase at 5:40 a.m. For there to be this much blood on this piece of cloth, was the victim wrapped in it at some point? According to Mr. LeBlanc, this textile is fairly famous.
What a waste. That's the victim's blood, right, sir?
I suspect so, but we will know much more until it's been processed by forensics.
Well, it's a good thing no one wanted to buy this suitcase.
How so?
Imagine the shock on their face when they go to open it and out pops a dead body.
I suppose, although it's really nothing to get all shocked over.
So get this, sir. I bet the victim used this suitcase as his hiding place. Excuse me? You know, just go away onto this flight, sir. He must have been inside all along. But someone found him out, and that's when, BAM! He was killed! Actually, that was the plot of a movie I saw recently. Here's a Gunshoe. Get your head out of the theater and back into reality.
This was apparently designed by Miss Tenero herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it. A $1,200 price tag. Not exactly priced by someone with a conscience, I'd say. There's something much more urgent we should be dealing with right now. Don't waste my time or yours. What do you think about this piggy bank, Francisca? What do I think? What else is there to think about? But that is the murder weapon. And then, what do you think about Captain Ugo himself? He's a crude rendition of a genus of primates commonly referred to as slow lorises. Loris comes from the Dutch word for simpleton, which is extremely fitting because that's exactly what Captain Ugo represents. The guilty simpleton I'm going to arrest. I don't suppose she's capable of giving a more normal answer. That's the victim. It's infuriating to see him crumpled on the floor like that, lifeless. I will catch the one who did this to him myself. I swear it. And this guy's really worked over the victim. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses' lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karna, sir.
Francisca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her?
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when you landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Niles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on his case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have a pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe you forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it.
Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. See, but this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments in his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then, the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and They entered the elevator, but while they were readying it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Investigation complete. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. Definitive evidence. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevators to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
Rebuttal! If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks the cargo hold.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Neal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, prop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there.
Hey! I can't disagree with her on that. Lieutenant Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand.
Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Neal?
Ha! I thought you might ask about her.
But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here.
Hold it!
But it's highly unlikely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tenero.
Objection!
It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father?
No! Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet! You're a disgrace! There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know? It's not just the key card that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank?
Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case. Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. Whoops! I keep... There.
Hold it!
But that is a fake.
Objection!
Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Franziska, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusion. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks' head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy!
Yes, sir.
Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to get the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy.
Yes, sir! We've got a big problem, Miss Edgeworth, sir.
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure.
Reports, now!
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back?
He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Autopsy report. Instantaneous death resulting from blows to back of head. Bruising, head to mid-back. Scruffy, what is the had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless.
No! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way.
What is all that racket?
My luggage, my cargo! They're mine and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think he can— Hey! What are you— You have left me no choice but to use strong force! Ah! You won't get past me. whole thing has been about.
Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The dog said it's one giant bruise from its... Oh. The dog said it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we were looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Franziska! What? What do you want?
I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon.
You did?
He really jumped.
Didn't realize it until now, but Answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. Did you go check up on him, sirs?
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This is coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't losing at all, are you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. This is a real murder weapon.
Take that!
I've concluded that this is a real weapon, I suppose. What is that supposed to mean, you fool? That was practice just now for when I would show you the real murder weapon. Why don't we add practice whippings to your routine as well? Ah! I need to think about the circumstances of the victim's death in a different way. There's a wide bruise running from the victim's shoulder down to his mid-back. Maybe I should be focusing on what could cause such a large bruise in one strike. Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of.
Okay, it's not the suitcase. But I'm gonna take the suitcase anyway.
Take that!
The real weapon is the suitcase. When you say it with such confidence, I suppose you must have some evidence. Of course! Agent Hicks was placed into this suitcase alive. It was while he was in here that he was beaten in the head and ah! I wonder if you would die if I whipped you from head to toe right now.
What are you thinking, woman?
Of course I would. I need to think about the circumstances of the victim's death in a different way. Okay, well that didn't work. I'm a death between 3 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Higgs' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
He
Fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane! I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal! Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive!
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Higgs fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there's no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ha, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box is not always where it is now?
Take that!
You were fueled in the repels of Zhengfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
Oh, it's labeled Zhengfa Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Higgs could have fallen to his death entirely possible. But your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Begin investigation. This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. See, a Leaf Red statue. Never heard of it.
Nor I, but all I can care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigating, sir. Look here, don't go about taking my possessions without my permission. Ah! Don't rush on me like that, pal!
This belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc?
Of course it is mine! I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Elif Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reasoning for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Arn, why did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, there are 10 million cents. Is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. I can't say you have the guts to show me a piece of art of this size. But from a single glance, I can already tell it is mostly worthless.
This is much more valuable as a piece of non-art, I assure you.
You look like you have something to say. Perhaps you are thinking like casting pearls before swine.
Maybe hit the nail on the head for once.
So you're finally paying my wasted money?
Sorry, but there is absolutely nothing inside this wallet.
How dare you! You're wanting to trick me! I was super fraud.
Miss LeBlanc, are you seriously considering
considering a courtroom tango with me? I hope not, but in case you are, there is a certain warrior I can introduce you to. How horrible to see a priceless piece of glass soiled. I assure you it wasn't me. I believe it to be the work of the killer. I will teach that killer a lesson. You can be sure I will. It will be the LeBlanc revolution. I think he meant the LeBlanc retribution, but either way, it's nothing to me. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing the cargo crew. It sure brings back memories of when I worked as part-time mover, sir. Oh, okay, I already read this. Mr. Hicks was actually an Interpol agent. That is so cool. I can't believe he was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy. Except, in this case, there was no big escape. And no miracle. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Jingfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those things would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. You mean the cargo certification document? Mrs. James LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. Can't read this. What does it say? It says Blair's Day, the cargo was put into the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. This... I've seen this somewhere before. This is the leaf bread? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to his country to exhibit it. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous leaf bread statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. This is the leaf bread statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before. No wonder this thing is worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir. I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining? This? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Ho-ho. You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive the trespasses? Unless it is his man's dress to keep it. What happened here? It says Jane Fogg, expert in the cloth, sir. I'm going to take a guess and say that this delivery company is based in Jane Fogg. Something is tugging on the corner of my mind. Or something is out of place? The left of the suitcases sit here, lined up in two pretty neat rows. Too bad for Miss Tenero, but this design is unmarketable. Oh, why don't they sell them in the airport and have a bargain basement sale? Buy one, get one free. If you win the raffle, you get one more for free. How about this idea, sir? I think if they did that, everyone would lose.
Wait. Okay, yeah.
Eureka!
I'm not entirely confident that this is a contradiction here. What do you think, Detective?
Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so.
I see. Well, then I must be mistaken.
How come when I answer confidently, you take that to mean we're off course, sir?
Really?
Eureka!
Come on. Am I not in the right place? Oh, it's the eyes. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem?
That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. Oh, but they kind of remind me of the eyes of the stray cat that lives near our house.
Are the eyes supposed to be this color? Is it possible the statue is a fake?
Eureka!
These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. But it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, Detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah! Sir, they're red!
As I thought, this statue is a fake.
Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I'm a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
You leave red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It's the biggest trophy on this European trip. You know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trip that started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is that? Sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
What is that in yelling? Nailed it. Oh! It's a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Oh!
Now, do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Oh! A fake?
I believe that even further examination will be required, now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Jinfa that will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction.
I can't believe you were able to tell this was a fake from a single glance, sir. You knew right away that his eyes were a different color than the ones in the photo.
Yes, unlike a certain detective who needs to try a little harder. The fact that this is a fake means it was squashed with the real one at some point. This leaf red is a fake.
But our dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir.
I'll get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine.
Eureka!
Okay, nope. Wasn't that... Wasn't that... eye sockets. They were made to look just like real gems.
You mean these aren't real?
Do you really think the forgers would waste that kind of money on a replica?
I guess not. Oh, I just got a really great idea. I can probably find some rocks down by the river I can polish up to look like real jewels. I think I'll try that out and give one to Maggie as a present next time.
I wouldn't be serious. What if I should try to stop him if he is? What else? What else?
Eureka!
Confused. What is the... There's no bird. Is that? There is no bird?
Eureka!
Okay, it wasn't that.
Eureka!
I'm about to, use all my chances. Hold up. Save. The hat on its head was found inside a display case in the in-flight shop. I wonder if that fact has any bearing on his face. It says Go You Airlines. No, I've seen it occur a lot recently, and it's been bothering me greatly. But why do some brands think it's acceptable to simply smash two words together and call it a day? There is some blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon? It was smooth sailing up until this point. How tragic. Confused. Let me just look up the answer.
Eureka!
There is clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah! Is that possible? But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue's on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Jinfa, there's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that the fake statue was smuggled on board in Jinfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. Like you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That ain't true, however. You have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed. But he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall into the statue's owner. They would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. But to me, there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Investigation complete.
I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh?
Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Jinfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Euro-Jinfa leg of the ship, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hayes could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now!
Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the Leaf red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and it was a reaction.
I see, there was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Will you stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood?
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. See, they had to need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Jinfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Jinfa?
There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Jinfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Miss Neal. Recall Miss Neal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regards to when we departed Jinfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know? He claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That totally contradicts the facts, sirs!
But why would he lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Neal herself. be continued. March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Miss Meal? Miss Meal! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zinfa? Huh? You said that Mr. H was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. H was dead long before we ever touched down in Zinfa. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal! Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. Huh? This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Meal's alibi. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Rebuttal. Yeah.
Hold it!
Miss Meal, wake up! I'm awake. Miles Edgeworth, as a man that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her up when you can finally put that whip to appropriate use? From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class and the lounge, between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. And what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having the most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way. Sleeping's part of our job too, you know.
Hold it!
Miss Meal! How many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake.
Ouch! What did you whip me for, sir?
Oh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? I'm sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant room all by my lonesome self.
Hold it!
So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, well I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Miss Meal, there was a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Ad starts in 1 minute. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m.
Take that!
Now take a look at this eye-opening piece of evidence. Miss Meal, I need you to wake up and take a look at this. Enough of your foolishness. Now hurry up and show us the real evidence. Okay, I guess this wasn't as eye-opening as I thought. Oh, did you say something? Finally awake, are we? What do you mean? I've been awake the whole time.
Oh, it's alright if you were sleeping, pal.
Pay no mind to the scruffy detective beside you and wake up!
Yeah! Hurry up and wake up, Miss Meal!
Enough with the clowning around. This is my show and I will resolve the contradictions as I see fit. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back.
Objection!
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Neal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenero! Yes? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness, so we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, in the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Neal there at the time? No? So Miss Neal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Neal! Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know? You take me for a fool. It's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? Oh, please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know? If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda? Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Rebuttal! Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew.
Hold it!
No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. But I wasn't in attendance. You would suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too.
Hold it!
She's already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot. I mean, don't you suspect me too? Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that! I mean, me, a killer? Miss Neal, what did you mean just by now? By no one else who could have done it? She's the one in charge of the elevator key card in the shop, you know.
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Neal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count! But I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, but she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Organian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Organian. You speak in Organian? Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Organian? Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Organian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Hold it!
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. But why? Well, Miss Tenero is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties. You have a lot of free time on your hands. That's providing you with ample time to commit the crime.
Objection!
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease to desist in this line of conjectural questioning. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. But I do not honestly believe Miss Neal does any actual work aboard this flight. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well... All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Borginian stuff.
Hold it!
So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Tammy's the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Neal, I take it then that is your job to process all the Borginian paperwork? Yeah, so I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about our work, and... Miss Neal, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very sus. There you go again, pushing everything onto her. I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is a landscape inside your head.
Objection!
So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Neal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the elite bread could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edge. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring? Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So maybe there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, now it's Miss Tenero who's under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched to the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. But unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whatever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstance dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And... Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and it still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right! But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely! I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do.
Agent Hicks' phone is ringing from somewhere, sir.
I hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? It sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room.
We better hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir. The ringing is coming from somewhere in here, sir.
Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Doesn't seem to be over here.
They must look somewhere else, sir.
The ringing is coming from somewhere around here.
But it's not here, sir.
Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone?
The ring is coming from in here, sir.
What? No, it can't be.
This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir?
It's Miss Tenero's.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero? I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Objection!
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed his cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time.
Objection!
This is related to the keycard, alright? In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the only word we cannot ignore. What can I do? Franziska's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the cell phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with it. This must be the switch that opens the phone. When did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones?
Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently.
Computer cell phones?
Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Meet Thomas Edgeworth?
All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more.
I'm guessing yours can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenience.
Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, detective?
No, sir. As they say, simple is best.
Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of the smuggling? Franziska, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for a killer smuggler.
But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
I'll find a way, don't you worry about that.
I'll go back to sleep now.
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Franziska? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with the electronics. His phone still rang when I called it, meaning that the only LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Franziska, your phone if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case.
Hey, the elite thread's nowhere in this pic, sir.
This has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
Oh, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir.
Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? The fact that all of the suitcases are here in this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at the time. So what exactly is so odd about the suitcases that haven't been used yet being there? Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miles Edgeworth.
Sure, I'll give Sleepyhead here a rude awakening. A deafening objection and a contradiction.
Boxes of bed sheets. These are still in the cargo hold, though. There's nothing unusual about them in particular, but they can't keep the feeling. If you're just playing around, mind if I go home? Yes, I mind. What exactly is different between then and now? What's all this?
Oh, they're cargo ship from Burguinia to Zhengfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhengfa? Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One collector box is written in Burgundian. It says it is cloth in English.
Cloth? Could it be?
Is this where the killer... What? What for is that scary face?
This meal. Yes. It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. It left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece of that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture of Mr. Edgeworth. The Burgundian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhengfa had cloth written on it. In Bohemian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Bohemian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Kenny Neal. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Virginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first.
Take that!
Hey, it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir.
Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
Well, what are you trying to say?
That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was his cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box of the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth,
well, that's a horse of a different color.
Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhengfa? That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. So it would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zhengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhengfa? Dramatic. It was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. Started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. March 12th, 5:26 p.m. First floor, lounge.
We've finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
He probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth! I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... Well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it.
No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun!
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca?
Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective? Can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir.
5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport. Francisca? I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You're Francisca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Only until a little while ago, I was but a wretched mud who was always losing to you. A dancing hero, living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred Von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? It's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full.
And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
How much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want.
Something to remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, smuggling ring she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through their next incident. Edward speaking.
Oh, finally. I called you knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy?
Mr. Amato? Ernest Amato, correct?
Oh, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son. He's been kidnapped.
The end! Ah. The kidnapping turnabout. Woo! That's gonna be fun. Okay, that's the end of the stream. Okay. We are going to raid Relics. Relics is currently playing Warframe. Why didn't the raid work? Okay, there. I'll be back tomorrow to play Silk Song again. I'm investigating the deep docks. Another area that I opened up with a simple key. And then on Thursday it's Steno, and then Friday we're going to be playing more Ace Attorney Investigations. My voice is a little shot, but that's to be expected. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.